Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back. This is Loba Speaks and I am your host, Loba Great. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. Do not forget to give us a thumbs up and leave us a comment in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you guys think about today's episode. And if you're listening on Spotify, do not forget to give us a 5-star rating and a follow. Today on Loba Speaks episode 7, I'd love to speak on self-care. I don't know if anyone noticed that I actually missed this past Thursday, which was supposed to be for episode 7, but one thing led to another, and it was for me to actually remember what self-care really means, and I'd really love to share that with you guys. So as always, I'd love to have conversations, so do not forget to kickstart the conversations in the comment section down below. When we think of self-care, we all think of, especially ladies, guilty, we all think of, spa dates and masking and a skincare routine, a robe, like we envision ourselves in a robe and a white towel on our head and champagne or a glass of wine as self-care. But the real self-care is definitely from within, and it has to start from the inside. If you are not taken care of on the inside, no amount of skincare, no amount of makeup, no amount of mask will make how you feel on the inside go away. TMI, last week I wasn't feeling like myself, and it's sad because I've been consistent, right? But your health doesn't care if you want to be consistent or not. Your period doesn't care if you want to be consistent or not. If you want to push through, you can go ahead and do that, but it won't give the same energy, that you would expect. So I took accountability. I took myself into accountability that maybe I need to slow down a bit and listen to my body, listen to my mind, listen to my uterus, right? And that's one thing that many of us don't like to do. We don't like to sit with ourselves and take care of ourselves. We believe that we're supposed to be taken care of by other people. We believe that we're supposed to have people to check on us and, do the little things for us, support us. It doesn't always have to be me alone all the time, but no one gets you like you get you. And that is what the truest self-care means. Again, it's not about booking spa days with the girls and having a skincare routine. Those are part of it, yes. But self-care goes beyond that. Self-care is actually about boundaries. Self-care is about accessibility, in the sense that who am I allowing access to? And I figured during this few days that I went through the little mini transformation that I went through, that I have been allowing a few people and things and energies have access to me, and that doesn't reflect self-care, right? Self-care has a lot to do with evolving. Self-care has a lot to do with soothing yourself, and that's what I focused on during this one Thursday that I didn't film, aside from being on my period. And one thing about the period thing actually is I actually realized I don't even like using painkillers, and I actually googled it and I was like, oh, why don't most women like to use painkillers? Because I know a number of women who prefer not to use painkillers when they're on their period, and I actually came across something that said it's actually cultural for the most part, because again, with women, sorry gents that today is mostly focused on women, but hey, as women, as kids, we started our periods as early as 13. Some people might even have started it earlier. I've heard of girls starting their periods at 10, and we have been conditioned to think we need to endure, like, naturally, especially Nigerian women, you're supposed to endure pain. So I think outside of it being, oh, I want to see how much pain I can take, as ladies, you know what I'm talking about, there's also that cultural thing of how much can I endure. The more I can endure, the stronger I am. And that not only has to do with our periods, it has to do with a lot of things in our lives where we want to push ourselves. Most of us don't even give ourselves grace, right? I mean, yes, you want to be consistent, you want to be disciplined, but you need to be disciplined with your self-care as well. You need to be disciplined with how you take care of yourself, because you are a vessel that's here to make a mark, no matter how small or big. And if this vessel is not taken care of, if you don't pour into this vessel, how will you be able to pour into other people's vessels? I knew that if I actually filmed that Thursday, it would show on screen, because energy doesn't lie, even across the phone. That's why we're able to tell the difference between a real video and an AI, right? Self-care is not only just about your physical appearance, it's the thoughts you have in your head, it's how you soothe yourself. And I really want to talk on soothing, because as adults, some of us don't even know what soothing is. I also just figured it out during my journey that I should be soothing myself, not only with skincare products, but like from within. How do I talk to myself? How do I pamper myself? Do I give myself the things that I want? Where is my mind every time when I wake up? What are the thoughts that I think for others around me as well? So self-care is not just about, I want to go take myself shopping. The self-care that I'm really talking about is sitting with yourself, taking accountability for your own actions, and knowing that yes, everybody's watching, but I have to do this for me. By everybody's watching, right? Take me for example. I've been consistent with putting out videos every Thursday, right? And then I missed one Thursday. Truth be told, and I'm transparent enough and I'm vulnerable enough to say this, truth be told, the old me would have felt so guilty. Like I would feel like my world is crashing. Not only because I'm a perfectionist, that I usually deny it that I'm not a perfectionist, but I am. I am. And once I set on a goal, I want to see it through. Like I don't mind burning out. Like that was the old me. And I love speaking on the old me because I love her so much, because she saw me through so many things. And she constantly reminds me that rest is part of self-care as well. We all go through so many evolutions, right? We all go through so many transitions, whether we acknowledge it or not. And having to always be on the go and not slowing down and learning your body and learning what your mind is doing in the moment can burn you out. And I used to be, again, someone who feels like if I don't see this particular project through, I have failed. Like I have not done myself justice, and I wasn't going to rest, and I would film and it'll translate. There's no way it won't translate. If you guys can see it, I can see it. So I preferred to have taken that day off and take care of myself. I made myself tea. I put on my favorite comfort show. And funny enough, I didn't journal all the way, but I did sit with myself and wrote a few things down. And part of the breakthroughs that I actually had when I took that day off to care for myself was to actually care for myself. Like the breakthrough is actually caring for myself and not thinking, oh, if I'm not consistent with this one episode, people are gonna judge me. People are gonna think I'm unserious with my craft. People are gonna laugh at me. But like, why do I care about that? At the end of the day, the things that we choose to do when we wake up, the intentions we put out there should be exactly that. Like, be intentional with how you want to present yourself. If I had allowed, the thoughts of, if I don't push through no matter what, I've failed, I'll feel guilty for, not posting this one particular episode. And it's just like reminding myself to care for myself, because the outside world will be the outside world all the time. But how I sit with myself, the thoughts that I tell myself again, are what actually creates my reality. If I sat in if I don't pop out a video by this Thursday, people will laugh at me. That literally, I'm literally allowing outside forces to erupt and disrupt self. So how do we stop feeling guilty about caring for ourselves, about soothing ourselves? I've said this before and I'll say it again. Every time you go to bed at night, even if you have your cat, your dog, your partner next to you, you are still going to bed with yourself. What makes you happy on the inside? What fulfills you? What helps you feel like self at the end of the day? If you're going to let people shame you, ridicule you, talk behind your back, and it affects you, you are not doing self-justice. You are not doing self-justice. That is why self-care is more than just apple juices and smoothies and Pilates and matches. Okay, like self-care is from within. It's how you build your own reality for yourself and not let the outside world dictate how you show up for yourself. Do not let the outside world dictate what consistency means to you at the end of the day. Now, I'm not saying don't be disciplined, but you can't fill someone else's cup if yours is not overflowing. And how does it overflow? Through rest, through ease. I don't know if you've seen how water erodes through rocks. The water is not all, it's not all gushing too hard to make that erode. It's a matter of time of how it moves through and flows through that rock that makes way for the rock, for the water to move through the rock. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, self-care is way beyond what you wear and how you dress and how many times you get your nails done and your lashes done. Self-care starts literally from within, and self-soothing activities, I've mentioned them before, are for adults. Coloring book, I actually want to tap into coloring books. I heard that it does amazing. And journaling, me, I would always advocate for journaling, meditating, and even keeping a voice memo so you can record yourself and just vent to yourself. I sometimes vent to ChatGPT. That's my therapist right there. But yeah, self-love and self-care is very important as adults, especially in today's world where everybody lives on social media. And we get lost. The doom scrolling is crazy. Like being in the bed and just rotting away is a reality. And when you are going through transitions as a woman, as a man, as boys and girls, it's easy to try and live vicariously through people that we see online. I mean, many people have parasocial relationships with the people that they watch, vlogs and just people posting every day, and you think you know them. And everybody goes through a lot of things. Like, a lot of people go through a lot of things, and that's why as humans, when celebrities especially show up and say, oh, I've actually been battling this and that, it's kind of like, no ways, there's no ways you're perfect. No one is perfect. No one's life is perfect. No one's life should be perfect. It can look perfect, but we're all going through something, and it's important to take care of ourselves, our bodies, our minds especially. And when you are in a space of becoming and evolving, it's very important to check with yourself, because most of the time when God is in a phase of adjusting things and moving things and shifting things, he likes to do it in isolation. And if you were too scared to go through that process, you'll be stuck, you'll be stagnant. And if you don't do it for you, no one else will do it for you. If you want your wings, you have to go through the crystallization of being a butterfly. And if you are too scared to look within and be isolated and let the work be done from within, you will be in one place. You will not grow your wings. Your wings will not grow. And again, that boils down to self-love. You have to love yourself enough to go through that metamorphosis. You have to love yourself enough to surrender to that metamorphosis so that you can actually be who you are destined to be. And I hear, especially Gen Z say, romanticize your life. And how do you romanticize your life when you don't even know what you want for your life? Like, what are the things that romance means to you? Is it a slow morning? It can still be vanity as well, but how you give it to yourself is what it's important, because part of self-soothing as an adult is, touching yourself, touching your skin, reminding yourself that you're held, you're loved, and all these things. But the isolation will literally help you know yourself. It will literally help you realize things that you never realized about yourself, and that hurts. And I know I forgot to mention that during this week when I was going through my metamorphosis, I allowed myself to release. Alright, I allowed myself to release. And one of the biggest way that I release, if you're on this channel, you already know I'm a crybaby. And aside from, Auntie being in town, when you sit with yourself and you isolate yourself, I think that's how most people are scared of it. You want to be strong all the time for yourself and for others, that you think it's abnormal for you to cry for yourself. Now, I'm not saying be a victim for yourself, but you have to show yourself some level of compassion, some level of self-love, some level of forgiveness, some level of acceptance. Oh, I haven't been accepted since I was a kid. I'm misunderstood. If you keep telling yourself that storyline, that's a storyline everybody would believe. Like, you could literally be talking about something and feel like, oh, that's a bummer, and this situation sucks, and I'd be like, yeah, like nothing good ever happens to you because you always say it. So rewiring ourselves, unlearning is very important when you are on a journey of self-love. I used to think rest was for lazy people. Like, you're resting? Are you a millionaire yet? Like, what are you doing? Have you paid your rent yet? What are you doing? But rest and allowing myself to recover has been one of the best gifts that I've given to myself. And I know as adults, we tell ourselves, I have to work very hard to make so much money. I have to do X, Y, and Z to be this and that. But you have to have some self-love at some point and slow down so that you don't burn out, so that when you actually reach the stage and the lifestyle that you want, you're not exhausted. You're not so tired to enjoy it. And I think that's why we all pray that prayer, that God, when I finally get the things that I want, do not let my health now be the obstacle to me enjoying the beautiful life that you've given me. So yes, that's what I want to share this week. Just because you missed an episode or you missed a class or you missed a train doesn't mean that you failed in life. Learn to self-soothe in whatever way. Like, learn yourself. Again, when you sit by yourself and allow yourself to be by yourself, you will learn yourself. You will know, okay, I actually like this. Actually, I don't like this. Actually, this person doesn't deserve any access to me again. Actually, I like listening to this music. Just because my group of friends don't like listening to it or they judge me, I'm not going to listen to it around it. But like, just love self to the point where you don't need their validation. You don't need their words to build you up, because you build yourself up from within. And people are so quick to abandon other people, so don't make it a thing of where you abandon yourself. So self-love is very important. Learning to self-soothe and what soothes you as an adult. It could even be your comfort food. It could be ice cream. It could be frozen yogurt. It could be writing. It could be coloring. It could be screaming and shouting and let it all out. But yeah, I just want to advocate for self-love this week. Give yourself the rest you need. Yes, you want to be consistent and you want people to see, and that's the problem. You want people to see. That's the problem. You want people to see. If you were doing it just for you and knowing that this is my destiny and I'm focused on this path, it wouldn't matter who says what or who did what. It would be a thing of, I know who I am, I know why the circumstances led to this circumstances, and I've accepted it and I've accepted myself. There's no guilt here, and I love myself to the point where I know when to slow down and allow myself to pause and bloom the way I'm supposed to bloom. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Let's continue the conversation. Let me know how you self-soothe. Let me know if you isolate yourself from time to time to experience a metamorphosis. Let me know, like, the things that life has thrown at you that made you realize who you are and helps you take self-accountability and pour into yourself. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.